The history of the Gannet is the history of Ivan and I's friendship. Went around the inner and outer Hebrides with a dream of a Scottish restaurant in the heart of Glasgow. My mother calling me a greedy Gannet many times in my childhood. And it kind of made sense in that time, in the middle of the night after a few drinks. And we all said, well, if it works tomorrow morning when we've got a hangover, then that's the name. And it did. We came from fine dining backgrounds and we didn't want that. We wanted the same ideals, the same standard of food, you know, the same provenance of the ingredients, the same, you know, considered technique, but we didn't want the starched tablecloths. We didn't want the formality of a stiff waiter. We really enjoyed going to San Sebastian. There's a place the two of us, you know, cited quite a few times. We were talking about what we wanted to do. And we wanted the large bar, you know, so people would be propped at the bar, have a glass of wine.
We're probably maybe a little bit more refined than we had initially intended to be. The thing that we didn't really factor in was the customers in a way. I know it sounds stupid, but you have this idea about what you want it to be, but your customers have another idea about the way they see you, and it's not always the way that you see yourself. Glasgow isn't London, you know, it's not New York, it's quite a different scene. You can't really stray too far away, I think, from, you know, what punters want in this town.
We offer an a la carte, which is 4, maybe 5 starters, 4 or 5 main courses. We always have a couple of specials on the board, which change depending on what we're getting as good from the suppliers at that moment. We've also brought in 2 tasting menus. My wife's a vegetarian. You know, I know the importance of looking after everybody.
So it really varied the clientele. We do have a good core of regular customers. A lot of them are sort of West End diners that have dined out for years. I know a lot of them from other restaurants and recognise the faces, and yeah, it's nice to be able to see them coming into the restaurant.
Core Avoir system is simply the way to taste wine without to open the bottle. We give the opportunity to actually have a glass of it.
Broken the cocktail list down into flavour profiles, and all the syrups and cordial are all made in-house.
I got in touch with AJ and Robert 3 years ago. They're fantastic people, they're really passionate about what they do, and that rubs off. Robert was really taken with the poulet de bris French chicken, and he wanted to recreate that product for the UK market. So he has a patch of land in Straven. You've got chickens roaming around. It's incredible. They have to trust us that what it says on the menu is exactly what it is. So when they sit down, and at the moment we put ourselves out there and we've got chicken as the main course on our tasting menu. And some people may turn their nose up to this, but when you sit down and you eat chicken from St. Bride's Farm, it's like chicken you had as a kid. It's fantastic, it's got proper flavour, it's not watery in the slightest. But asparagus is an elusive one. It only grows for a couple of months most of the year, and it comes up, and within 24 hours it's coming up again. By the time they've done one side of the field, it's starting to grow again, and you take a bite out of it when it's fresh out of the ground. It's like eating fresh peas out of the pod for the first time. Incredible.
We had a supplier who supplied the restaurant with garnish and microgreens. I decided to give it a go for the restaurant. Bought a couple of light boxes and started growing them in my spare room. And I grow a lot of the garnish. We do some radish, some fennel cress, all different types. Because I'm so handy across the road, the guys send me a message just before I'm coming in from a shift to ask me to bring in some extra garnish for them. So yeah, so it's very local and very fresh.
There has to be a sense of formality in a kitchen, there has to be leadership in a kitchen, and there has to be one voice in a kitchen at any one time, so that everybody's pulling together in the same direction. It would be cool to have everybody been able to do their own wee thing here and there, but it just doesn't work like that. You know, when you've got a busy restaurant, people are coming in certain times, everything has to be like a military operation. It's very difficult. You know, you get chefs coming in, and unless they give it about 4 months, they'll never get it. It will be very hard. It is very, very hard for the first 3 months, I'd say. Anybody that comes into the kitchen, I tell them that we're not willing to let the standard slip. I think the day that you kind of turn a blind eye to a plate of food, leaving the past that you know isn't right, is the day that you might as well hang up your chef jacket. You know, you got to be able to stand behind everything that goes out to the customer, because you're only as good as your last meal. Getting the right staff behind you or with you, side by side, that is the most important thing for a restaurant. Well, this is our 5th year been open. In a lifespan of a restaurant, that's a long time. We've been getting better every year. And I'd like to believe that we've built our own identity. People know why we're here and what we're here for. What we would like is for the business to become more of a collaboration between, front of house to back of house, push the business forward and seeing where we can bring it.
In the next 5 years, I just hope that we're still busy. I hope that we're still relevant, given all the changes that have happened around here in Finnieston. Everyone's talking about how it's been transformed into the kind of most exciting dining place in Glasgow.
Until we've reached a plateau where we're not creating anymore, we'll just keep striving for whatever's next.